Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Today I want to talk about, well, it's going to be one of those rant kind of videos, I feel, uh, about all this cancel culture and the newspeak, I guess. And we'll get into that. If you don't know what the word newspeak is, I'll explain it. Most of you probably do. And it's reaching levels of insanity. The gaslighting that's going on. And I know you might say, well, what in the world does this have to do with self-sufficient homestead prepping, blah, blah, blah. I think it's just one more signal of the degradation that we are seeing in our society. And I think it's just one more predictor to our society, our culture, civilization, whatever, is collapsing and falling. So I wanted to talk about that mostly because, my goodness, I'm to the point I can't even hardly get on the internet anymore because it's just so much of it. I do want to mention something else. My wife asked me to talk about this. And you know, guys, how it is. You have to do what they ask you to do. No, seriously, though. My wife is wanting to get more involved with what I do here. She's involved on the behind the scenes a lot. Helping with ideas and stuff like that. But my wife is extremely knowledgeable in some areas that might be of some interest to you. And so she was wanting me to put out some feelers. If you folks would be interested in some content that she would be in charge of producing. She's more of a writer. She said she feels more comfortable writing, so some of the stuff may be in written form. We do have a website. We haven't been very active on the website because our internet quality has been so bad here. But now that that's kind of fixed, we plan on, using that website a lot more and promoting it more. But she's not opposed to getting on and doing a video now and then. My wife is extremely knowledgeable and kind of the natural health. I have to be careful about the words that I use because this is YouTube, and this is one of those areas that they're very strict on. But she, has a lot of knowledge in essential oils and herbs and supplements and diet, how to eat healthy, how to eat, paleo or, these different types of ways, more natural ways of eating, how to cook things that way. She's very knowledgeable, and here's one of those words I can't use on YouTube, and it's not a bad word at all, but how to use these things to care for your children, especially children that have certain maybe disabilities, people that may be on the autism spectrum. Things like that. She has had some success in the past. She's not an expert, but she is very knowledgeable in a lot of these areas. Also in homeschooling. She's a homeschool mom. And so she has a lot. I mean, she's very knowledgeable, extremely knowledgeable. She can explain to you, scientific studies on a particular herb and what they found that it can be used for. She's really is. So she was asking for some feedback from you, if this is something that some of you would be interested in. We're not sure how it would all work out. Probably, like I said, the majority of it would be articles written, and then the occasional video on here. We have to be careful. That's what we've been talking about because YouTube is so restrictive on this content. We may have to put it on another platform. But if we did, I would let you know. Anyways, she's just curious to know if any of you would be interested in it. So if you could give some feedback to that down in the comments, I would sure appreciate it, and so would she. She said she probably will even, she'll read the comments. She may even jump in on some of the comments if you have questions about the kind of stuff that she knows. All right, so this cancel culture stuff. I mean, when I thought about doing this video, I was going to go through like some of my videos and do like little screenshots of articles and screenshots of tweets and screenshots of Facebook posts for examples of what I'm talking about. But I'm not really sure if I need to do that. It's crazy. I just watched, and this isn't cancel culture, but to me it's all the same thing. talking about the health crisis and all the insanity in it of you have to do this but not this, and this is okay but this isn't, and none of it makes sense. There's a video I saw today. This woman goes to a drive-through restaurant. I think it was the Mick you know what, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, and she ordered a drink through the drive-through, and she didn't have a thing over her face in her own vehicle, and the guy in the window, the employee, says he can't give her her drink that she ordered. Until she puts one on. He says, "Do you have one?" She goes, "No, I don't." He says, "Well, you need to put one on." He says, "I can give you one. I can give you one. We have free ones to give away." And she said, "So you can give me a thing, but you can't hand me my drink that I purchased?" He said, "Yeah, you have to have one of these on for me to give you the drink." She said, "Can you explain to me how that makes any sense? It's okay for you to hand me the thing to put on my face, but it's not okay for you to hand me the drink. It doesn't make sense. There is no logic to it." There's no logic to a lot of things going on right now. I saw someone else, a discussion, and it almost makes me want to vomit in my mouth to mention it, but I think it's Cardi B is the name of the person, this singer or whatever, and I guess she put out some video that is extremely vulgar, extremely sexual, over the top, like a music video that's basically just full on pornographic, and it was named like music video of the year or song of the year or something. It got some kind of big awards because that's okay. But yet now we're canceling Dr. Seuss books, and they're actually calling these, aggressive and violent or offensive. They're using all these words talking about Dr. Seuss books. There was, if you try to order them on Amazon, Amazon will delete them from your shopping cart. You can't order them on Amazon because Dr. Seuss books are horrible. I guess the company Hasbro rescinded it, but they were going to change the Mr. Potato Head to a non-binary, non-gender whatever. It seems like that because of the backlash from that, I think they've walked backwards on that one. But this is happening to other things, and it's going to continue to happen. The absolute insanity. I think I saw the other day a national statistic of people that fall into that transgender category. We're only talking like 1.5% to 2%, at the most, fall into that category, and yet that's what we hear about every day. We hear about it all the time, and how it's okay, right? It's okay, and it totally makes sense. And if you don't agree with it, or if you think it's a little crazy, then there must be something wrong with you, because it totally makes sense to have like 150 to 170 different genders. Totally makes sense, right? Totally makes sense to allow your 5-year-old to choose what gender they want to be, to the point now that certain people in the federal government, in the Health and Human Services Department, are actually advocating giving a child hormone blockers, small child hormone blockers, to keep them from going through puberty, and to also be okay doing surgical changes to them because the child wants to. And we have 7-year-old twins. They'll actually be 8 this next week. They have birthdays coming up. And a boy-girl twin. Do I think for a moment that these 7, almost 8-year-old twins have the mental understanding to make that kind of decision? If I asked the son, the boy, what do you want to be? It would probably be, a Lego giant. He wants to be converted into a Lego giant. The little girl, she would probably want to be a princess or something. Do they have, hormone blockers to be a princess? I mean, the thought that we're actually doing this to our children, it is child abuse. It's not almost child abuse. It is child abuse. And I'm sorry for some of you that think that what I'm saying right now is awful, but I'm not sorry for saying it, because I truly believe this. And I've said all this, and I haven't even really gotten to what cancel culture is. This canceling that if someone doesn't agree with you, if your words are deemed offensive, because everyone is offended by something. My wife was reading me something a week or two ago, and it was by, I think it was like a young person, in their 20s or something, and they were basically making fun of their own generation about them being offended. And this girl, she said, well, my generation is offended by their breakfast. I mean, everything offends these young people. It's all offensive, no matter what you say, and it's all about hurt. Well, that hurt my feelings. Well, if that hurt my feelings, then we're going to cancel you. We're going to delete you from the internet. We're going to delete you from society. You're no longer, worthy to be part of society. This isn't. I mean, in the beginning, I think some of us, at least myself, I was like rolling my eyes. This is ridiculous. Are these people really doing this? But it's gotten kind of beyond silliness. I mean, it's there's actual serious things going on. I mean, there's been people fired from their jobs. There's been people that's lost, their banks have deleted their bank accounts. Uh, you know, there's some serious things happening here, and it's getting to the point because it's gone from just the very far fringe progressive left online that, makes ridiculous statements to where the government now is stepping in and they're supporting these ideas. They're supporting this ridiculousness. And when that happens, we're not that many steps away from governments implementing laws supporting these crazy concepts of canceling people because they say something that's offensive, and that everything is offensive and we have to, but it's only offensive to people, in a minority. And we're only canceling folks like you and I. We don't see a whole lot of people on the left being canceled. Their ideas are okay. They can talk about me, my beliefs, my skin color, my where my family ancestry is from, the part of the country that I live in, and make fun of it, make fun of how I live, and that's okay. That's acceptable. Um, so it's really a one-way street. But I don't think we're too far away from this cancel culture becoming more law, where and it's actually happening in some countries. There are other countries. I've read not too long ago a woman in England, I believe it's happened a few times, that she made some comment about someone's gender and she was prosecuted, considered it was a verbal hate crime. this this is more than just a little phase. I believe that maybe the average person that's saying this kind of stuff or complaining about this kind of stuff doesn't realize it. But I do believe that at some level, there's probably got to be someone, some elite behind some closed doors that are saying, yeah, we need to push this, because what it does is it's breaking up society. It's pulling people further apart. It's causing division, and then it also, when divisions happen in people, it puts the government in a better place, and it allows the government to be a bigger brother, have a bigger police state, because now they have to police even more things. We've created even more things for the government to get their hands in. And, you know, to the point that, like I said, they're monitoring what your purchases, telling you can't purchase a book. Um, Someone was talking about online the other day. I was looking that people are that are purchasing cryptocurrency. Some of these banks are deleting their checking accounts because they're using their checking accounts to purchase cryptocurrencies. Last time I heard, it was not against the law. There was no criminal act in purchasing cryptocurrencies. Um, do we just stand by and let it happen? Do we do like we right-leaning, traditional, conservative, whatever kind of people that we, consider yourself, do like we've done for the last 50 years and step aside and let our toes get walked on by them? And yes, okay, we'll admit that we'll do that for you. We'll do that for you. Or do we take a stand? All of this and more The amount of lies and just absolute untruths, the twisting of truths that we're hearing from government. Um, it's all very Orwellian, which is where I get the term newspeak. If you don't know what it is, you need to look up, the book 1984. We won't go into that here. But it's very newspeak. And newspeak is where, good is bad, bad is good, war is peace, you know, uh, it's insanity. And it's also a level of gaslighting. In the book 1984, the government bombed themselves so that they could turn around and say, hey, we've been attacked. Probably similar to the kind of stuff that they keep talking about in Washington, D.C. As of yet, the making of this video, nothing has happened. But today, if you don't know it, they have beefed up the security in Washington, D.C. They've put Washington, D.C. on lockdown. They've added even more troops and more security measures there, all because they claim that there's more terrorist domestic T threats. Okay, all coming from the right, even though they've not presented any evidence. It could happen, but they've not presented no evidence whatsoever. Um, it's almost like they're setting up a false, what, um, by doing this kind of stuff. the I could go on and on with this kind of stuff. They it's really, in the end, it's a mind game, and it is a psyop. It is a mind game. Another one, the FBI director the other day did the kind of the final wrap up in the investigation on January 6th, and they said it was determined by the FBI that all of the people there on the Capitol, inside the Capitol and around the Capitol that day, there were not one single one of them that were part of BLM or Antifa or anything like that. None of them. He said that they could find no evidence whatsoever that any of them were fake Trump supporters. None of them. Even though you can get online and you can find dozens and dozens and dozens of screenshots of Facebook posts and Twitter posts, and even people that's gone into these Antifa private chat groups where they have talked about and planning ahead to this and teaching each other how to look and act like a Trump supporter at the Capitol. And there's actual pictures of them at the Capitol at that day, and showing that they are not, right-leaning Trump supporters. More gaslighting, right? But that's not what you see. You're wrong. We're right. Trust us. Do as we say. Trust us. You're wrong. We're seeing, along with all the other things that we talk about here on this channel, we're seeing a rapid progression in this area. We're seeing a rapid progression of the misinformation, of the mind control, the mind, games, the psyops. And I do believe that's what the greater goal of all this is, of beating down traditional values. Their master global plan cannot exist if there's still a lot of people that hold on to their God, guns, and traditional beliefs. So they have to destroy that kind of stuff. And make no mistake about it, I truly believe that in the end they're going to start going after Bible characters. They've already gone after our patriots of the past and tore down their statues and removed their paintings and their names off of buildings. They're going to come after the Bible characters. And once they come after the Bible characters, it's going to be the Bible. The Bible is going to be too racist. The Bible is going to be bigoted. And they're going to remove it from the public square, churches, because between the health crisis of them locking them down and not allowing people to go to them, and this cancel culture and the bigotry and all that kind of stuff of the Bible, that they're going to say, you watch and see. I was telling someone the other day, what this is doing, it's setting the ground for some type of state official church. Maybe not in the same way as the Church of England, but it could be your church can only do business if it gets a special federal permit, that we clear it, that you're not giving any offensive business, offensive teaching, and you're meeting all health standards, um, because this health thing is going to keep going on. Just yesterday, or maybe it was today, they were saying that that the health lockdowns has done such a good job for the environment that they're proposing every third year, so 2 years normal, and then 1 years of pandemic level lockdowns worldwide. So every third year of doing that, whether there's a health crisis or not. I don't know how many people can keep seeing and hearing all this kind of stuff and just think that this is just normal stuff, that this is just everything's fine. Yeah, it's a little wacky weird right now, but the pendulum, it's 2022, we'll take back Congress, and everything will be back to normal again. For somehow, some reason in 2022 and 2024, those voting machine errors aren't going to be a problem all of a sudden, and we're going to take back. People, you need to wake up. You need to wake yourselves up and realize that this freedom that we once had, this nation that we once had, that prided ourselves on traditional values, that prided ourselves on absolute truths, and that prided ourselves uh, on true liberty, it is rapidly dying. Oh, it may still have the same name. The illusion that everything looks the same will be there. But at the heart and soul of what it once was is gone. And I don't know how many people are going to wake up to finally realize that, and before it's too late, because it's almost too late now. All right, there's my rant for the day. I've had one itching in me for a while, and I haven't done a good rant like that, so I thought today would be a good time. Let me know what you think, and also some feedback on what I said earlier about my wife and what she's wanting to do would be appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.